Hello, I'm Ebony Griffin, and I told you a couple of months ago that I wanted to post regular videos, and so this is my effort to post weekly. Now, this segment is called Five Alive, and my goal for you is to bring regular videos that are newsworthy, important newsworthy stories that are being overlooked and ignored by mainstream media. And so, again, it's called Five Alive, and I want to give you the top 5 stories, although it might be more because news is coming really, really fast. There's a lot going on out here, and it's coming really fast. And so the scripture says in Hosea 4:6, my people perish for the lack of knowledge. What that means is not having the knowledge, not knowing what is going on is causing the death of many. And so the goal for this segment is to prevent that so that you can be in the know about things that are important, that are going on, because though we are not of the world, we should be knowledgeable about the things that are going on in this world. All right, so here we go. Number 1, and some of these stories you may have heard of and some of them maybe not. But if you have, go ahead and let me know. If you find a story that you think would be newsworthy and that you have not seen in mainstream media, then of course let me know. All right, and I will be happy to post that with the link. And I have actually everything that I post talk about here will be posted in a link for your information, and a part of that is so that you can click on to know that I didn't make it up. These are real life things that are occurring, and they are going on, and that you need to know. So I want you to read the articles or the news stories, those individuals that may have written the story. I didn't write these stories. These are already written. All right. Number 1, missing chemicals. Okay. So there is a report that there are 30 tons of explosive chemicals that are missing. All right. Now, this was on a rail shipment that was in California, and this was earlier this week. And as of today is Sunday, as of today, those chemicals, 30 tons, have not been located. And these are explosive chemicals that had been used previously to do nefarious things. So, again, that's the top story of the week that has not been on mainstream media as much. I didn't see much of it. In fact, I didn't see it on the news at all. It came across in a news feed, and I want to make you aware of it because I haven't seen it. It seems to me like 30 tons of explosive chemicals is something that the world should know about. Americans should know that things are missing, and we need to be investigating where did these chemicals go, who has these chemicals, what are their intentions of these missing chemicals. And so again, it's not something that is being talked about. It's number 1, and I don't have these in any type of order. They're not in any order, but they may very well be in order based on when I found out about it. Okay, so I didn't intentionally put them in the order that they're in, and I wanted to comment on that. All right, number 2, the NAACP issued a travel warning, a travel advisory against going to Florida. Now, this is a story that you probably did hear about, and this was somewhat on mainstream. I apologize for the sirens. I tape a podcast, and there is not one podcast that I have taped that has not had a siren. I apologize for that. It's just something that happens these days. So back to number 2, the NAACP issued a travel advisory against going to Florida. Now, so this one is really interesting. My opinion of this is really simple. There is a travel ban. They want a travel ban against going to Florida. Black people traveling to Florida. They don't want you to travel to Florida. It's the reason why I'm like, what, is because there's no travel advisory about Chicago. I'm from Chicago, and you know how you can look it up to know how bad it is there. New York City, no travel ban. It's horrible in New York City, crime-wise, okay? I love these places. I'm not bashing these places. I'm just telling you the truth. DC, I live in DC. Okay, again, crimes all day, in the noonday, all day long, all night long. No travel warning or ban not to go to these places, but a travel ban not to go to Florida. I don't understand it. I think that in this case, the NAACP needs to just clamp those lips and stop this guy, this president of the NAACP. And I know you may not agree with me. You're listening and you might be upset about it, but I do think he needs to clamp those jaws closed. And a part of it is I think that this goes into trying to incite some type of racial tension. Just by him opening his mouth in general against Florida. I don't have an issue with Florida, but I don't have an issue with these other places other than the crime needs to stop. Okay, it needs to be more safe on the streets, and the cause or the reason for the travel ban doesn't make sense. If you're not issuing a travel ban for Black people not to travel across America, where it's high crime, then you need to be quiet and clamp the lips. So that's my opinion on that. That's number 2. Number 3, satellite phones were issued to senators. Okay, if you don't know what a satellite phone is, the satellite phones are if the grid goes down, the electrical power goes down, if something goes awry and your cell phone doesn't work. They didn't give you a satellite phone. They gave satellite phones to the senators so that they would be able to get in contact with each other and talk to each other when everything goes down. Now, this is the first that I've ever heard of such, and we've been having senators, congressmen around for a long time, but all of a sudden they're issuing satellite phones to senators. Okay, so somebody needs to be questioning, number 1, who paid for that? Is it my tax-paying dollars? If you're issuing phones to other, to senators, how come the American people who pay for your salary are not getting a satellite phone? And number 2, what are you preparing for? What exactly are you giving out satellite phones for? Okay, so I got questions. Those, that's a situation. Issuing emergency satellite phones to senators, to me, I got questions about that. I want to know, why are these being issued? What was the directive? Who paid for it? And how come you're not telling us what is going on? Okay, what's all this? So that, well, I'm sure you probably didn't see it on the news, but again, this is 5 Alive, and that's why I'm talking to you about the fact that these satellite phones are issued to senators. Number 4, the WHO, the World Health Organization, who last year this presidential administration gave power to them in an executive order, the WHO, which is I guess it's a global organization, and they issued a lot of things. You may know them because they issued a lot of directives and guidance regarding the pandemic or COVID. A lot of that stuff was not accurate, but we're not going there. I won't go there right now. What I do want to say is this week, right before Memorial Day, right before they know you're going to be traveling with your family, before they know we're going to be hanging out with loved ones, the WHO issued a directive telling us that there's going to be a disease. It's going to be a disease or a virus. The next pandemic will be worse than COVID-19. That's what this guy said. Now, he said it will be deadlier. These are his words. It's going to be deadlier than the new COVID-19 strand that caused a death surge back in 2020. And now, what's very interesting to me is he doesn't know the name of it, or at least he didn't give it to us, but he said it will be. So how does he know that? That's my question. These are questions that need answers. How does this guy know that it will be deadlier? Does that mean that he knows exactly what the virus is or what the disease is? Now, he mentioned Zika disease X. Again, I guess that's supposed to be a germ that has not been discovered yet, but he already knows that it's going to be deadlier. And you got to ask yourself, how does he know that it's going to be deadlier? He probably knows it's going to be deadlier because he and his little friends may have something to do with it. So I'm going to move on to number 5. Number 5 is Target, North Face, the LA Dodgers, and many more corporations this week are pushing transgender. And so Target, what they did, which has been very horrible, and the backlash for them, and I'm excited about that, that they have lost a lot of money this week, and I hope that they continue to lose money. And a part of it is they basically put out a line for children that has satanic designs on it. It had LGBT designs. It was just a whole bunch of evil mixed up in a whole outfits for kids. Now these are for kids, okay? So what's going on is they are targeting your children, and they're targeting your grandchildren. And for some of you, you're just not seeing this because you're like, well, I guess it really doesn't matter. We've seen this before. Yes, we have seen this before, where it has been a push down our throats of things that we do not believe in. But that does not mean that this time we're going to accept it. In fact, we're not accepting it. And that's one of the reasons why they have lost money this week. And again, in my prayers, I hope that they continue to lose money until you do right and you do the right thing and you stop trying to hurt children, because all people's children are not your children, Target. Regardless of what this administration says, people's children belong to them, and they should have the sole right to make decisions on if they want their children to wear the satanic designs, if they want their children to wear LGBT and satanic designs. And guess what? They should go and do one of those little, you know how everybody's making t-shirts and all that, make your own clothes for your own kids if that's what you want them to wear. But you shouldn't be forced to have to see that at stores. All right, so that is the satanic shirts at Target caused them to lose big money this week, and let's hope that that continues. Hey, if you want to play around and invite Satan into your company, then you will get exactly what you deserve. So that's number 5. Now, I told you that this was called 5 Alive, and it is, but I have a bonus. In fact, I have 2 bonuses, and they're good. I couldn't go and just leave it at the 5. I'm sorry, I couldn't do it because this week was a lot going on. Maybe next week it'll be 5, but this week it's going to be 7. So the bonus is BMW is making a car that allows you to change lanes with your eyes. You heard what I said. They want you to drive in the car, you just think about it, and you switch your eyes, and boom, you have changed lanes. Okay, now this is more evidence. The reason why this makes the 5 Alive story is because this is more evidence that the world is moving from the Internet of Things to biotechnology, brain chips, and the Internet of Bodies. And if you don't know what any of those things are, guess what? You should be Googling those, because you need to know what those things are, because they know what they are. The world knows what they are, and you need to know what these things are. Last thing, and it goes with this. Okay, it goes with this. I paired them together because they came out in, relatively same time frame. The FDA, our government, the FDA has approved the Musk brain chip trials. They have approved, and I say Musk as in Elon Musk. He has a company called Neurolink, and he founded this company, and they have decided that they want to put chips in people's brains, and that human trial has been approved by the FDA. So that is how you're going to be able to think about and switch lanes with your eyes, because you're going to have a chip in your head, all right? And so that's the thing. Like, we're moving towards something that's different, and I'm smiling, but this is really sad. So a part of it is I want you to want to get into what I'm seeing. Start doing your research so you can know exactly what's going on, because again, these things are not on mainstream media, and if they are, they're very much so talk about it real quick and then move on to something else that's like a distraction. And so I gave it to you just boom, 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 so that you won't be distracted. All right. So again, this is called Five Alive. My name is Ebony Griffin, and it has been a pleasure to talk to you. See you next week. Bye.